This week we're going back to a beginner drill. This beginner drill is called a trigger freeze. I didn't make up the name. This is actually a drill that's provided on the system, which I think is actually a pretty good drill. It's a yellow drill in our classification, so it's the middle of your beginning stages. So it's white, yellow, orange. And we could certainly make this a little bit more complicated in different ways. But the point of this is to get used to double tapping your targets and moving from target to target. So you actually have 12 targets, but they're in 3 separate stages. So you're going to double tap 4 targets, move to a different stage in a IPSC sort of course, double tap 4 more targets, move to a third stage, double tap 4 more targets. Realistically, should you reload along this way? Yes, that's how you can make this more complicated by adding in reloads when there need be. But this is meant to be a yellow drill, and it's meant to just get the muscle memory of the trigger pull and be able to transition target to target and then bring your weapon in when you're moving from one stage to the other. Scoring on the trigger freeze is based on your standard IPSC scoring. There is a major and minor built into there. I don't really use that for this particular thing for just the shooting for the qualifications, but the scoring is based on 1, accuracy, 2, overall speed, and then you get penalized for any penalties. You get penalized for any misses or any bad shoots. In this case, there really aren't any bad shoots. There's no innocent targets or no shoots. So on this, you can see, ideally you want to start with your target nearest to you and work to the farthest target. So you can get the nearest target, which typically is your bigger threat, down and work across. So, on my initial shots, you can see my first 3 pretty spot on. 4th one, rushed it a little bit. As I move into my second stage, I'm still pretty much hitting all 8s, but I slowed down just a little bit, and I did miss 1 onto a C, right on the line, but still, a miss is a miss. As I get into my third stage, got a little anxious, rushed that a little bit, and I got 2 C's. So that's a little bit out of the norm. So I got to work on not rushing myself through these and just sitting down, concentrating on doing the drill. So if you notice on this that I use the non-recoil, simple reason behind that, I wanted to save some money. And so, let's start with a real range. If I were to do this at a standard range with a 9mm, I mean, that was $5 that I blew right there, just with the rounds themselves. You're looking 20, 30 cents a round, something like that. And that was only 24 rounds for 1 iteration with no misses. Every miss is still money that you count. With the recoil assist that we have, the air gas, those cost some money too. Those cost money to use the gas, to reload those. Nowhere near what it costs for a live round, but you still have to pay to buy the gas. With the non-recoil, it costs me a battery. And so the battery lasts quite a few rounds. And so that's the main reason for me using that on this drill. I thought that was a good practice for me. It helped me with my muscle memory to make sure that I'm only pulling on the trigger and I'm not anticipating a recoil. But at the same time, I was able to get through the whole round. And again, it cost me next to nothing because, again, I only had to pay for the battery. Which that brings me to yet another OVR advantage. When you rent our range, you're not paying by the shot, by the round. You're paying for the range. And, doing it with a non-recoil weapon, a lot less expensive. You bump up to the recoil, it costs just a little bit more. But again, we're not charging you by the round on that. We're charging you for the facility and the weapon and the gas. And then from there, you get your full hour of shooting at however many rounds you do. I did this recently with a client, and he wanted to work on the AR. In an hour's time frame, he shot about 500 rounds, but it cost him the same amount for the range as if he'd have shot 5 rounds or 5,000 rounds.